everyone, my name is Vincent. Today I'm going to do a coding challenge on LeetCode, and the question is about regular expression metric. The difficulty for this challenge is hard, and I also feel that this one is harder than the previous depth search and what is another one? The backtracking. This one is harder than the previous two coding challenge. For those two, I didn't have to look at any answer, and I could still get the answer. But for this one, I really couldn't figure out. So at the end, I need to read the answer and try to understand it. So it took me a while to understand how it works. So for this regular expression metric, the question is about whether a string would match the pattern. So for a pattern, it can have a dot character, which can mean any single character, and a star means it can be 0 or more of the previous characters. So for example here, so the pattern is A stars, it means that there could be 0 or more of the A characters, and the string is AA, therefore the string matches the pattern. So in order to solve this question, I will need to learn something called dynamic programming. So it's about breaking down the problem into sub-problems, and we first try to get the solution for those sub-problems, and then we will use those solutions to get the overall solution for the problem. And this is where I learned how to do this coding challenge. So for the coding challenge, we will need a table, but actually I find this table is a little bit confusing. Therefore, when I do the solution, I will use my own way, based on my own understanding, to explain the code. So first, let's start. So for dynamic programming, first we need to get the length. In order to get a table, we need to get the length of string and pattern. So S means string and P means pattern. So I'm using Javascript this time. So for the rows, so here the table, here it represents the string, the row, and the column represent the pattern. And notice that even though this is index 0 of the pattern, but we need to have one more cells here to represent when the pattern is an empty string, or when a string is an empty string. And I will try to explain it when I doing this solution. And then the next is to create a table like this. So we need to have a array. So you may notice that for the length, we will need to plus 1. Because, for example, now the length for the string, for this string, is only 1, but we need to have 2 because this is index 0 but we also need to have an empty string like here, empty string. That's why it's +1. And then when we first start, all the cells are false. And I'm not really confident in this challenge, so maybe during I try to have a presentation for this solution, I would probably make some mistakes. So here, the reason why it's true, so the string match the pattern, is because they are both 0. So the first 0 is for the row. So the row is an empty string. So we look at it as if the string is an empty string and also the pattern is an empty string. So something like this. So they will match. That's why it's true. And then I will explain why this is I equal to 0 first, and also why this is columns +1. The reason is because if you look at here, even though this is index 0, but in the table it is 1. Therefore, here we use I minus 1. So if I minus 1, the index of index I minus 1 of P equal to star, then now we are just looking at the first row of the table. So we will look at it as if the string is an empty string. So when it will be true, so for example, now it's an empty string, when it will be true, so it will be true when so it will be like this. So here we are looking at this character and want to figure out whether it's true or false. And in order to make it true, you cannot just I minus 1, because I minus 1 we will look at A. But if this is I minus 2, it means we will treat the pattern as if this is an empty string, and then it is true. And then, however, for other scenario, it will be false. For example, so we will treat the string as if this is an empty string, and if this is not a star, for example, it's a character other than star, then it will be false. That's why it is false. And then let's have a look. So we have an array here. So for example, if the length of this string is 1, then there should be 2 rows. Like this, there are 2 rows, 0 and 1, just like this. If you only look at this So 0 row, the first row, the second row. And now we can look at other characters. Again, it starts from 1 because when we look at the table, 1 actually means an index 0 of string or a pattern. String, index 0 of pattern or string. Oh, excuse me. So now, the first scenario is if this character is a string, then there are actually also two scenarios. So if this character is string, we will look at the previous character because string, the star, if this character is a star, then we will need to look at the previous character here. So because if this is a star, it means that we will have none or more of the previous character, and in this case is A. Therefore, we will look at the previous character. So if it is equal to the character in the string, so here you understand why we net I equal to 1 instead of 0, because you won't have a negative 1 index of string or pattern. Or the previous character of the pattern is a dot. So a dot is it means a wildcard that it can represent any characters. Then whether it's true or false. So when we look at this, whether it is matching or not matching, it would depend on the previous result. So here, or before I talk about it, I should talk about another scenario first. So if the pattern characters equals to the string, the character on the string, or the character of the pattern is a dot, then whether it is true or false depends on the previous character. For example, so this is true. So we are now looking at this scenario. So the index j minus 1 for pattern equal to the index I minus 1 of string. So whether it's true or false will depend on the previous character. So if previous character is true, then here will be true. Because, for example, now the previous character is B and the previous character of pattern is A, then it is false, right? Therefore, even though it is the same character, it will still be a false because the string will not the string of BA will not match the pattern of AA. So it will be based on the previous character. And for the another situation is this character is not the same as this character, then they will just give us a false. So if this is a, now let's have a look at the first situation. So if this character is star, but the previous character is not in this scenario, for example, the previous character that don't match, then it will be true or false depends on whether it is true or false, as if we don't have this. So now it is false, we will treat the pattern. So for the question, for example, the pattern is A star. Since the previous character don't match, so we will treat the pattern as if it is 2 characters less. So here, because this will give us false, so this one will give us false too. So here we will treat it as if the pattern is 2 characters less, or something like this. So because so we have a star here, but it doesn't meet this criteria, so we will go to this scenario. Because the previous character doesn't match a character in the string, that's why we look at here. So we will decide whether this match, the string match pattern, based on the result of the pattern as if the pattern is 2 characters less. So like this. So this is true because both empty string, and now this is also true too. And here we can come back to the first situation. So for this one, it means that so the previous character before star match the character in the string. So for this one, I will need to give another example. For this one, actually it means, because for star it can be none or more of the previous character, and for this one it means there's none characters. So this will be a good example like this. So we have a star and the previous character before star is A, and it matches the character of the string. Therefore we are looking at this scenario. But this one actually is only true because actually for the star we would treat the pattern as if they're 2 characters less. So this is true. That's why we need to J minus 2. Or it will be I minus 1. So for here, it means that there's one or more of the previous character. For example, like this. So the character before star and A, and here we have an A2. And whether it's true or false, we should look at one character before. So we will treat this string as if one character less. And from here, we can easily see that this is true. And then, whether this is true or false, we will treat the pattern here as if this is 2 characters less. So here, we have 2 characters less. We will treat the pattern as if it's 2 characters less. And here, we have the character of the string equal to the character of the pattern. So we are looking at this scenario. So here, we will treat this as if the string is 1 character less and also the pattern is 1 character less. And this one is true because we have this scenario. Here it is true. So this is what dynamic programming is. We get the result based on the result of the subproblems. So now this is a big problem, but we can get the result from the subproblem. So this is a subproblem, this is a subproblem, this is a subproblem, this is a subproblem. And here we will return whether it's true or false, just like here. This is the result of the whole string and whole pattern. The whole pattern here and the whole string here. Therefore, we will return it here. Let's see if I have missed anything. I remember last time I tried to do it. I know that it's only because I don't have enough experience. So I make a typo here like this. And actually I can find out that I have some problem here because I uncomment this, uncomment that, uncomment this, for example. And then I find out I have some problem here. But I just overlooked that I have include one more equal sign here. Even I just copy the answer, and so for example, I copy the answer from the solution. So I try to compare this with my answer, and I still couldn't see the difference. I know it's only because I don't have enough experience yet. And this is the reason why I'm applying for a junior job instead of a senior job, because I really don't have that much experience. That's why. But after last time, now maybe in future when I really couldn't find any problem in my solution, then I will really pay more attention to situations like this. So now let's see if I have the answer. I'm not sure now it's true, and we can see if this is correct. Oh, there is some problem. Okay, I know the reason, because here there are some situations that I haven't include what I forgot to include. Oh, sorry, it's accepted already. I read it wrong, sorry. So my answer is correct, but actually I look at the answer before. It can be more optimal. So here, what is this? If columns is 0 and rows is 0, then we can just return true. So it means that if both string and pattern is empty string, we can just return true without wasting time to do this. And also, if if the string is, if the pattern is 0, is 0 length, but the rows is not 0 length, then of course it will return false. So this is a more optimal answer. Okay. Okay, it accepted, but I need to edit this. I want to add this few lines to see if it will be faster. So previously it is around 75 ms. So if I include this, how fast will it be? Oh, it's similar. So actually we don't need it. So actually we don't need this. But anyway, I hope you can understand my explanation, because I feel that my explanation would be easier to understand than reading this table. So let me recap once again. So for this one, so we have a situation where the one character in the pattern is a star. Then we will need to look at the previous character before star and see if it matches a character in the string, or if that character before star is a dot. Then we have two outcomes. One outcome is, because for star it can mean none or more of the before character, and here this one means none, and this one means more. So for this none here, a situation like this will be none, and a situation like this will be more, or like this is more. Or here, so we have a star, but for before character is not the same, so we come to here. And whether this is true or false will depends on whether this is true or false. So here we will treat the pattern as if it is two characterless, so we will look at like this, and then from here it will be this situation, and this is false. And for here, let me use this example once again. So for here, it means a star and the before character is a character A, therefore it means more character. So we will look at it as if whether it's true or false. Whether it's true or false depends on whether it's true or false, and whether it's true or false depends on whether it's true or false, and whether it's true or false depends on whether it's true or false, and whether it's true or false depends on whether it's true or false, and whether it's true or false depends on whether it's true or false. And here, whether it's true or false depends on whether it's true or false, and now we are looking at this, because now we have a none character matching the before character, and whether this is true or false depends on whether this is true or false. And this, we got the answer from here, so it is true. That's why this is true. Hopefully you can understand my explanation. I try my best to understand it, and I really think that this way to explain is much easier to understand than this table. Thank you for watching this video. Hopefully I will see you later. Bye bye.